She was so used to being afraid for her prince, a fear that made her meddle with his quest and strings to protect him. But something had changed in Tejas ever since he had heard the lady's story. His old doubts had vanished, replaced with a sureness of mission. Agatha trusted him now, because he trusted himself. Over his shoulder, she could see the heat in his stumbled cheek, the crystal blue of his eye. His chest was proud and full, his golden curls wild in the wind. Agatha stayed silent, letting him be, the same way she had stayed back as he said goodbye to the lady at the shore of her lake. Agatha had watched their sororities, Tejas strong and strict, the lady drunken and cowed, the prince whispering to her, before the lady's expression suddenly changed. Something Tejas had said had broken through, the darkness and pain in her beginning to lift. Behind them, her frozen lake flowed. From its silver waters the lady drew in apple, greenest of greens, and bestowed it on the prince as a gift. It would have no magic, Agatha thought, for the sorcerer's powers were lost. But Tejas didn't seem to care. He kissed her on the cheek, his own gift of forgiveness for the lady's mistakes. Gone was the anger, the secrets, all washed away. This would be the last time they'd see each other. That Agatha knew for sure. The lady was at peace now, her days soon over, by her own wish. But Tejas still had more days to fight for, a fight that had an uncertain end. Agatha held him tighter, hand on his chest, the apple there in the lining of his coat, firm against her prince's heart. Let's share it, she said. The apple, we haven't had anything to eat since Shasamba. Tejas pulled her hand away and kissed it. Where's Dot? He asked the waitress. Her mother took her to a witch doctor in Sherwood Forest to try and de-age her, said Hester. Dot's mother knows Sherwood Forest well, and Adele quivered. Agatha gave them a surprised look and Hester winked back. They figured it out too. Her mother, Tejas said, eyes still ahead. Who's Dot's mother? Don't worry, not yours, Merlin croaked, finally waiting himself. Tejas had swung to the wizard boy. For a second, Agatha thought the prince might beat him up. Then Tejas burst out laughing. Same old Merlin. Night deepened, the sky bruising black. Still, the West carried on, their eyes glowing in the dark. Merlin Clearwings was in front of them with streaks of pink lightning, growing bigger and stronger as the young wizard gained control. Soon, light cut over the ice plains with angry whip cracks, lashing out in every direction. A teenager's chaos given full outlets to bloom, sending the ashes of Arthur's game up in pink smoke. Then, all at once, trees and crows stood around them, closer, closer, trapping them in the darkness of the forest. Movements were studied in the branches, the glints of white bones and hollow eye sockets leering down at the trespassers before the birds reared back, letting them pass. Here in the steam forest, there would be no enemy forces, since it was school territory and no one trespassed near the school for good and evil with those consequences. Waffle zombies and wild spirits learned that lesson harshly. Even now, it was the only part of the woods untouched by phantom swords, as if Arthur, too, had known the school was beyond his power, equal and separate to Camelot. Hester's demon returned to her neck, its job done, as the west hurtled the faster down swordless paths. Tetros was pulled ahead, leaving the witches and Merlin behind. His pace was so smooth, Tetros' back so warm and taut against Agatha's breast, that her eyelids grew heavy. When her prince spoke at last, she wasn't sure if she was dreaming. Agatha, when we get to Frostwood, I need you to make me a promise. If anything happens to me, don't mourn for me. Now she was awake. Tetros, listen to me. You are to go on. You are to keep fighting. You are to do what needs to be done. Don't let what happens to me stop us from getting to the end. I'm with you in life and death. I won't let anything happen to you. Promise me you'll keep going. Promise me you'll fight on. Tetros, you and I, we are one. Whatever happens to you, happens to me. Promise me, Agatha. He gripped at her thing. Please. There was such clarity in his voice, as if they couldn't go further without his vow. How could she tell him she could never agree to such a thing? That his death would be her own. But he had left no room for her feelings. This was the king commanding something of his princess, for the sake of his kingdom, for the greater good. And goodness was sacred to Agatha, even more than love. I promise, said Agatha.